Hello students, welcome to my channel Learning History Made Easy. In today's video, I will be explaining about the Mauryan Empire. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel for the first time or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends, and also click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. So without wasting time, let us get into the video. So as I have told to you, today's video is about Mauryan Empire. We will have an introduction about the Mauryan Empire, and we will also see about Chandragupta Maurya in this video. So the foundation of the Mauryan Empire in 321 BC. So the foundation of the Mauryan Empire was in 321 BC by Chandragupta Maurya. It was the foundation was done by Chandragupta Maurya, and this was a very unique event in the history of India, a very important event in the history of India. Now regarding the ancestry of the Mauryas, there is no unanimity. Okay, there is no unanimity regarding the ancestry of the Mauryas. There have been different theories regarding the ancestry. The Puranas, if we see, describe the Mauryas as Shudras. According to the Puranas, they are described as Shudras. Now, if you see the Buddhist work, if you see the Buddhist work Mahavamsha and Mahavamshatika, these Buddhist work, if you see, have attempted to link Mauryan dynasty with the tribe of Shakya. So according to this, they have attempted to link Mauryas with the Shakyas, with the tribe of Shakya, to which Buddha belonged to. So that was the belief or the attempt made in Buddhist work of Mahavamsha and Mahavamshatika. They have attempted to link Mauryan dynasty with the Shakya tribe to which Buddha belonged to. So the foundation of the dynasty was done in 321 BC by Chandragupta Maurya, but there is no unanimity regarding their ancestry. The Puranas describe them as Shudras, and the Buddhist work Mahavamsha and Mahavamshatika tries to link the Mauryan dynasty with the tribe of the Shakya to which Buddha belonged to. So these were some of the theories regarding the origin of the Mauryan dynasty. Now again, according to some Buddhist writers, if you see, the region from which Mauryas came was full of peacocks. Okay, so the region from which Mauryas came can be said was full of peacocks. Okay, they were full of peacocks. Peacocks was called as Mayura in Sanskrit, and they were called as Mora in Pali. Okay, Mayura in Sanskrit and Mora in Pali, and hence they came to be called as Moriyas. Okay, and like that the name Mauriyas originated. That was again one more theory. So according to Buddhist writers, the region or the area from which Mauryas came was full of peacocks. Peacocks are called as Mayura in Sanskrit and Mora in Pali, and hence they came to be called as Moriyas or Mauryas. Now according to Jain tradition, what was their theory? And this Jain tradition was given by Hemachandras Parisisthaparvan. According to Hemachandras Parisisthaparvan, they relate Chandragupta. Okay, so according to them, Chandragupta is the son of the daughter of the chief of a village of peacock tamers. Peacock tamers. So I will explain this. There was a village of peacock tamers. This village had a chief. The chief had a daughter, and Chandragupta was that daughter's son. The peacock tamers chief, that village's chief had a daughter, and Chandragupta was that daughter's son, the chief's daughter's son. So that is why, and this village of peacock tamers, they were called as Mayura-Pokshaka. Mayura-Pokshaka. Okay, and because they were called as Mayura-Poshakas, later the dynasty came to be called as Mauryas. So that was according to Jain tradition. So I hope you understood different theories. Buddhist writers told that they came from an area full of peacocks and hence their name was Moriyas or Mauryas. According to Jain tradition, given in Hemachandra's Parisisthaparvan, it relates Chandragupta as a son of a daughter of chief of village of peacock tamers. These village of peacock tamers were called as Mayura Poshaka. So all these were the different theories regarding the origin of the Mauryas, but there is still no unanimity regarding their origin. Now if we see the again the Greek classics, if you see the Greek classics, classical writers such as Justin, Greek classical writers named Justin, describes Chandragupta Maurya as a man of humble origin. He does not specifically say anything about the caste from which he originated, but according to Greek classical writer Justin, he says that Chandragupta Maurya was a man of humble origin, but he never exactly said about the caste, or he did not mention anything as such, but he just said that Chandragupta Maurya was a man of humble origin. And in conclusion, if you see all these theories, in conclusion we can just say that Mauryas were comparatively humble origin. Okay, Mauryas were comparatively of a humble origin, and they belonged to the Maurya tribe. That was also an agreeable theory from the Maurya tribe, and was certainly they were coming from a lower caste. So this can be made as a conclusion. They were people of humble origin belonging to Maurya tribe, and they belonged to some lower caste. So this much we can conclude after seeing the different theories given by the Buddhist, Jain, Greek classical writers, etc. So now just let us go through the points which we have studied till now. Mauryan Empire. The foundation of the Mauryan Empire in 321 BC by Chandragupta Maurya was a unique event in history. There is no unanimity with regard to the ancestry of the Mauryas. The Puranas describe them as Shudras. The Buddhist work Mahavamsha and Mahavamshatika have attempted to link the Mauryan dynasty with the tribe of the Shakya to which the Buddha belonged. According to the Buddhist writers, the region from which the Mauryas came was full of peacocks, Mayura in Sanskrit and Mora in Pali, hence they came to be known as Moriyas. Jain tradition given in Hemachandra's Parisisthaparvan relates Chandragupta as a son of the daughter of the chief of a village of peacock tamers, Mayura-Poshaka. The Greek classical writers such as Justin describes Chandragupta Maurya as a man of humble origin but does not mention his exact caste. In conclusion, we can say that the Mauryas were of comparatively humble origin belonging to the Maurya tribe and were certainly of a low caste. So now let us move on to the details regarding Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so here we will see about Chandragupta Maurya. His time period is 321 to 297 BC. So Chandragupta Maurya was a founder of Mauryan dynasty. He was a founder of Mauryan dynasty, and he seems to have belonged to a very ordinary family that we have already discussed. According to Brahminical tradition, he was born to Mura. Okay, he was born to Mura, who was a Shudra woman, a woman in the court of Nandas. In the court of Nandas. That is, according to Brahminical tradition, she was born to Mura, a Shudra woman in the court of the Nandas. And he took advantage of the Nandas in the last days of their rule. And with the help of Chanakya, he was helped by Chanakya, also known as Kautilya. He helped Chandragupta Maurya to overthrow the Nandas. And he defeated the last Nanda ruler, and he established the Mauryan dynasty. So Chanakya or Kautilya was a person who helped Chandragupta Maurya to establish Mauryan dynasty. So Chanakya helped him to overthrow the Nandas and establish the rule of the Mauryas. And after that, the acquisition of Magadha. This was the first step in the establishment of the new dynasty. First step in the establishment of the new dynasty, the acquisition of Magadha. So Chandragupta Maurya was a founder. He was, according to the Brahminical tradition, he was born to Mura, who was a Shudra woman in the court of the Nandas, and he took advantage of Nandas in the last days of their rule, and with the help of Chanakya, who is also called as Kautilya, he overthrew the Nandas and established the rule of Mauryan dynasty. The acquisition of Magadha was a first step in the establishment of the new dynasty. Now, according to Justin, we have already learned this name. According to Justin, who is a Greek writer, he says that Chandragupta overran the whole of India with an army of 6 lakh. According to him, he says that Chandragupta overran the whole of India with a huge army of, he is telling that his army had of 6 lakh. Chandragupta overran the whole of India. So this is what the Greek writer said. We cannot completely agree to this, but Greek writer Justin said that Chandragupta overran the whole of India with an army of 6 lakh. And Chandragupta moved to the northwest to exploit the power vacuum created by Alexander's invasion. So after the acquisition of Magadha, so first the acquisition of Magadha was done, and after that Chandragupta moved to the northwest. Okay, in northwest there was a vacuum created by Alexander's departure. When Alexander was departed from northwest, there was a vacuum created there, and to make use of that, Chandragupta moved to the northwest. And the areas of northwest also fell to him rapidly. So Chandragupta, in his conquest, we can see that first Magadha's acquisition, then northwest also was acquired. Moving back to central India, then again he moved back to central India. He occupied the regions north of Narmada River. The areas north of Narmada River also was acquired by him. So central India, he occupied the region north of Narmada River. And he got in a campaign against Seleucus. So next he got in a campaign against Seleucus. Seleucus. Seleucus was a Greek general, Alexander's general actually. He was Alexander's general, and Chandragupta got into a campaign against him, and finally Seleucus and Chandragupta got into a campaign with each other, and finally Chandragupta won the fight. Chandragupta won and Seleucus was defeated, and this victory happened in 303 BC. Okay, so he got involved in a campaign against Seleucus, who was Alexander's general, and Chandragupta won in 303 BC. But eventually between both of them peace was concluded. Peace was concluded between both of them. Okay, and peace was concluded between both of them because of matrimonial alliance which matrimonial alliance which happened. It is said that Chandragupta made a gift of 500 elephants. Chandragupta made a gift of 500 elephants to Seleucus, who was the Greek general, and he obtained territories. Territories which were across the Indus. So hence Chandragupta gave a gift of 500 elephants to Seleucus, and he obtained territories across the Indus. And both of them they signed a treaty, and they entered into marriage alliances, matrimonial alliance. They entered into marriage alliance. So this is how peace was concluded even after Chandragupta defeated Seleucus. See, actually in the campaign against each other, Chandragupta had won. He has defeated Seleucus. But they finally agreed for concluding peace between both of them, and Chandragupta made a gift of 500 elephants to Seleucus. In return, he obtained territories across Indus, and he also signed a treaty and entered into marriage alliance. It is said that he married Seleucus' daughter. So that is how they entered into matrimonial alliance. Chandragupta thus built a vast empire. So now Chandragupta, he built a vast empire, and which included not only Bihar and the substantial part of Orissa and Bengal, but also western and northwestern India and the Deccan. So he conquered a lot of places, and he established a vast empire which not only included Bihar and substantial part of Orissa and Bengal, but also western and northwestern India and the Deccan. So this was how Chandragupta established his empire. Now Seleucus ambassador. So Seleucus ambassador, his name was Megasthanes. He lived for many years in the Mauryan court. Okay, he lived for many years in the Mauryan court. So the Greek ambassador of Seleucus, his name is Megasthanes. He lived in the Mauryan court for many years, and this court was at Patliputra, their capital, Patliputra. So he lived in the Mauryan court at Patliputra, and he travelled extensively in the country. Now, according to the Jain sources, during his last days, Chandragupta embraced Jainism. Chandragupta embraced Jainism towards the end of his life, and he stepped down from the throne in favor of his son Bindusara. And Chandragupta gave up his throne and he got converted into Jainism. In favor of his son Bindusara, he gave up the throne. And after that, he was accompanied by Bhadrabahu, who was a Jain saint, and several other monks. He is said to have gone to Shravanabelagola in Karnataka, which is Shravanabelagola near to Mysore, where he deliberately starved himself to death in the approved Jain fashion. So finally, Chandragupta Maurya starved himself to death. That is an approved thing in Jain tradition. It is called as sallekhana, and like that, Chandragupta Maurya passed away. So according to Jain sources, Chandragupta Maurya got converted into or embraced Jainism towards the end of his life. He also stepped down from the throne in favor of his son Bindusara, and accompanied by Bhadrabahu. Bhadrabahu was a Jain saint, and several other monks. He is said to have gone to Shravanabelagola near Mysore, and there he starved himself to death and that was an approved Jain fashion, that is Sallekhana. So this was the life of Chandragupta Maurya. So now let us just go through the points which we have studied till now. Chandragupta Maurya. The Mauryan dynasty was founded by Chandragupta Maurya, who seems to have belonged to an ordinary family. According to the Brahminical tradition, he was born of Mura, a Shudra woman, in the court of the Nandas. He took advantage of the Nandas in the last days of their rule. With the help of Chanakya, who is known as Kautilya, he overthrew the Nandas and established the rule of the Maurya dynasty. The acquisition of Magadha was the first step in the establishment of the new dynasty. Justin, a Greek writer, says that Chandragupta overran the whole of India with an army of 6 lakh. Chandragupta moved to the northwest to exploit the power vacuum created by Alexander's departure. The areas of the northwest fell to him rapidly. Moving back to central India, he occupied the region north of the Narmada river. He involved in a campaign against Seleucus, who was Alexander's general, which Chandragupta finally won in 303 BC. Eventually, peace was concluded between the two. Chandragupta made a gift of 500 elephants to the Greek general and obtained the territory across the Indus. Both signed a treaty and entered into a marriage alliance. Chandragupta thus built a vast empire which included not only Bihar and substantial parts of Orissa and Bengal, but also western and northwestern India and the Deccan. Seleucus' ambassador Megasthanes lived for many years at the Maurya court at Patliputra and travelled extensively in the country. According to the Jaina sources, Chandragupta embraced Jainism towards the end of his life and stepped down from the throne in favor of his son Bindusara. Accompanied by Bhadrabahu, a Jaina saint, and several other monks, he is said to have gone to Shravanabelagola near Mysore, where he deliberately starved himself to death in the approved Jaina fashion called as Sallekhana. So these are the points regarding Chandragupta Maurya. We will continue details about Mauryan Empire in the coming videos. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask in the comment section. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Your likes and shares will be of a great encouragement for me to make more and more videos. So I hope to see you all soon in the coming video. Thank you for watching.